Hey guys, well, it looks like Bank of America is defrauding their customer base by their employees. Well, allegedly, at the very least. So, there's a woman on TikTok named Mackenzie, and she is pregnant and has that condition where you throw up a lot while you're pregnant, and it makes it almost impossible for you to work. My mom had that for a good part of her pregnancy with me. So I would not want that at all. That seems like not a fun time. Anyway, her boyfriend's been working and he has been very good to her, waits on her hand and foot, and his paychecks have been stolen by Bank of America. Apparently he's gotten a different job. I don't know if he has a side job or whatnot. So we're going to go through these TikToks and we're going to discuss.
If any of my videos go viral, please let it be this one. Bank of America has stolen over $11,000 from us. And yes, I'm talking about the actual employees who work at Bank of America. My boyfriend has a full-time job and has been working really hard because I am 20 weeks pregnant and had to quit my job very early on in the pregnancy due to how sick I am. It's very likely hyperemesis gravidarum, and I throw up literally all day, every day. But we have not seen a paycheck in over 5 months. All of our savings are gone, my bank account is negative, and we have been promised over and over again compensation. We've been promised to have the money. We have not gotten anything, so Bank of America, please help us. My boyfriend took his paychecks in person to the bank and deposited them, but nothing in his account shows that anything was ever deposited. There is video camera footage of him depositing his checks, and 2 individuals have already been arrested, but we still don't have any money and our gas is being shut off tomorrow. All of our bills are overdue and we have the money. That's the thing, like, the money is literally sitting there and we can't touch it. We've been promised $18,000 at this point. We've involved the district manager, who I believe is in on it because he has decided to stop answering all calls and completely ghosted us when he was supposed to give us the money. He has literally decided that he wanted to meet us after hours at the bank, and feel free to call me naive because I am fucking naive, but I genuinely didn't know that this is completely against the rules. He was supposed to meet us last night to give us the money and made an excuse about the security guard he was bringing having his girlfriend go into labor, which we have now found out is completely false. He has made excuses over and over and over and over again and refused to show up today. He was supposed to come in at 9:30 to deal with this, but he was somehow at another branch of Bank of America. The previous manager at Bank of America has been arrested for this, as has a teller at the other Bank of America that he deposited the checks at initially. We've called and reported fraud, but apparently it was the wrong place to call. I can't explain this situation very well because I don't understand what's going on. I'm disabled. I have a chronic illness that causes extreme chronic pain, and it made it hard to work even before I got pregnant. We have borrowed money from the family members that I have. We have borrowed money from his family members, and there's really nothing else we can do at this point. We didn't pay our rent this month because we didn't have the money. Our gas is being shut off tomorrow. We rent our washer and dryer and they're gonna come take them. And our power is probably going to be shut off in the next couple of weeks as well. We also have pets who need to be fed. And I genuinely don't know what to do anymore. Because it's not that we don't have, it's not that he hasn't been working. It's not that we don't have the paychecks. We have the pay stubs. He's having his boss report fraud as well. So that hopefully, because the money has been taken out of his job's account, like the company that pays him, the money has been taken out of that account. So someone stole this from us. And I'm terrified because I'm carrying our child and I don't know what we're supposed to do. Everything has a bunch of late fees and overdraft fees, and we are out so much money at this point. Like, I legitimately owe my dad $4,000 because he's been helping with the rent for the past 2 months, lending it to us because we were promised over and over and over again that we would get this money. Yet, here we are 5 months later and we haven't gotten a cent. And there's nothing in his account that shows that there is any money pending or anything. So if you can please circulate this, get this out there, boost whatever you can do. I just want this fixed. I just want the money that he's worked hard for, and I just want to be able to provide for my baby who's due early October. Like, we literally don't even have any copay, like any money for the copays for my doctor's appointments, and I'm genuinely at a loss for words.
Of course, there's people, they're tagging Bank of America. I recommend fixing this, of course. Yeah, and for the life of me, I don't understand how Bank of America or Wells Fargo is still allowed to be open. I'm so sorry this happened. Yeah, me too. Because both of them has so much fraud between the two of those banks. They'd be like, you need to shut down. But we all know that the laws aren't there for us. They're there for them. And that's why they're allowed to be open. Because money makes that world go round. People are telling her to get a lawyer, which I totally agree with. She needs to get a lawyer. Reach out to local news, that kind of thing. File a police report. And yeah, I don't know if any lawyers would take this on a, not pro bono, although that would be nice. If they did it pro bono, that means they don't take any money even if you win. So hopefully she can find a lawyer that would work on contingency. And what contingency means is that if you get nothing, neither does your lawyer. And if your lawyer wins, then they get, well, my lawyer got 33.3% of what I won.
I just want to say thank you so much for the response I'm getting from that video. It means a lot that you guys are supporting me, because it's honestly felt really lonely in this. Tomorrow we're going to be calling all of the people you suggested we call, the FDIC, and we're going to be looking for a lawyer who would be willing to do this, where they just split some of the commission with us. Split some of the, pregnancy brain, the settlement with us. Because we know we can win if this has to go to court. Bank of America, if you see this, please just make it right. I really don't want like a whole fuss, and we've been trying to work with you for months now. I can't put things very eloquently right now because I'm really tired. But we have since stopped putting his paychecks in the bank. I will explain more about the specifics on why they at first said that they were holding the checks, because I know that it doesn't sound like it makes any sense. Trust me, my family members, my therapist have said the same thing. I'll try to explain it the best I can, but I also don't have access to all of the information because it's not my bank account. If you don't believe me, that's okay. I probably wouldn't believe me either. But for everyone who's been supportive, it really means a lot. I'm going through all the comments, and I will post another update tomorrow. We're going to be calling the fraud division of Bank of America again, and we're just going to try to get this figured out because it's fucking ridiculous. Some people have asked if they could send money. I had my Cash App and my Venmo in my bio already, but honestly, that's not what this video is about. People have said to set up a GoFundMe, but really, if we can find a lawyer to do this without having to pay upfront fees, that would be the best situation. There are a lot of people who are struggling right now with inflation and with just unemployment and everything right now. So I just don't feel super comfortable asking anybody for money. A friend did drop by today and gave us enough to cover the gas bill. So our gas, we will be paying that bill tomorrow. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry if I seem kind of monotone. I'm really just exhausted right now. And there is proof that I'm pregnant on my page. You can see the bump dates and everything. Baby girl is due early October. And so far, everything's been okay. I've just been really trying to reduce my stress because I have really severe anxiety. I'm on medication for it, but I typically would take, I guess the word is abortive anxiety medications, like benzodiazepines. I typically take those when I'm having a really stressed out period of time or if I'm having a panic attack, but obviously those are not safe in pregnancy, so I can't take those. So it's just been really rough trying to manage my anxiety, especially with all the hormones and everything, because I get emotional really easily. But it means a lot that you guys care, so thank you.
I would have also started calling Bank of America corporate and reporting that bank, that branch of the bank, to corporate. because they do have a corporate branch, but I don't know if that would make a difference because Bank of America is such a horrible company. They really, really are. They're not good at making it right with people. I mean, they've had several. So when I first saw this, I did start checking, news outlets. I did find one story that was ran for this woman, but I couldn't find anything else. When I was looking for news articles, I found several other news articles of other Bank of America employees embezzling money from customers or from businesses, I guess they'd be a customer too, from the customers, and then they got caught and they went to prison. As they should, because these are the things that you should go to prison for.
I wanted to clear up a couple things and answer some commonly asked questions. This won't be all of the questions I'll be answering. I woke up at 5 in the morning today, which is really bad anxiety, and haven't been able to fall back asleep. So I'm really tired, and I'm sorry if I don't say things in the most eloquent way. I'm trying my best. The insomnia from pregnancy is very real. My boyfriend gets paid every 3 weeks from his job. It's not every 2 weeks or every week. The reason why he had multiple checks at once was because he had a last paycheck from his old job, and then 1 or 2 paychecks from his current job. How have we been able to stay afloat this whole time? So I had a college fund. My parents put money away when I was little, and I ended up going to college essentially for free. I got a courtesy scholarship because my dad was a professor at the university I attended. So I had some money left over, and half of it went to basically funding this past year. I haven't been working much, especially because I've been so sick. But also, I have a disability. I have chronic migraines, and I've had a constant migraine for over 7 years now. So employment is tricky with me because there are times when I have to call out for multiple days at a time, and so it's hard for me to keep a job. I also mainly work as a nanny, and people don't really want to hire nannies when they're going to have to call out multiple days. And I was actually fired from a daycare position because I got really, really sick from working with the kids, and even though I had multiple doctor's letters proving that I was literally in the ER and urgent care, they still fired me. Because Georgia is an at-will state, so they can basically let you go for any reason. So we've been using that. We're pretty much out of it now, though. So that's how we were staying afloat, and then for the past 2 months, my dad has been lending us the money for rent. We also had a little bit of savings, but they're literally all gone now. So yeah, that's how we were able to stay afloat for the past couple months. And then my boyfriend was also doing a temp moving job where he would basically work as a mover, drive the truck. And so he got paid in cash for some of those things, so I would just deposit it into my account and use that to pay some of the bills. The reason why they were holding the checks, they claimed there were multiple reasons. And yes, looking back, we were incredibly naive to just believe them. But we really didn't have any reason not to believe them. I have had Bank of America, I've used it for the longest time, probably 7, almost 8 years now. And they have always deposited my checks within 3 days. But I do the online version where I take a picture of the check. He went in person to deposit the checks. The reason why they first claimed that he had an issue with the checks and it was being held for so long is because his account went negative multiple times, and so they claim it's an at-risk account. So we understood that at first, and we were okay, I understand if you have to hold it for an extra week or two, that's fine, whatever. We can hold off for a week or two. The next reason they claimed is because he had a loan that he forgot about from years ago that was about $1,000. And they had found his account, the bank that he had used before for the loan, and so they were hey, we need to take out X amount of money from this account to repay the loan. And so we were okay, take out half, take he literally contacted the bank to discuss this, the bank that had originally issued the loan to him, and they agreed on taking out $500 and then having him pay back monthly. So we assumed, after that they would get everything figured out. Then they proceeded to claim that there was an issue with his social security number. This has happened multiple times. My boyfriend is Hispanic. He was born in the United States, and his biological father, who he's half Hispanic, so his dad was born in Puerto Rico, which is a part of the United States. But because he has a Hispanic last name and because his social security number has multiple of the same number in it, he's run into many issues. I've literally seen his birth certificate. He was born in New York. Like, there's no doubt about his citizenship. But this has posed multiple issues. It kept him from getting health insurance multiple times. And they, I don't know what goes on exactly, but they flag it every single time. They apparently got that figured out, and yes, we've gone to corporate multiple times. Like, we've been in contact with different areas of the bank over and over and over again for months now. The next reason that they claimed there was an issue was because he originally used my phone number to link his bank account. For a little while, we couldn't afford his phone plan, and so he wasn't able to take calls on his phone. He could use iMessage and everything, but he used my phone number because he knows that I'm better at answering my phone. And I always have service because my mom pays for my phone plan, which is very sweet of her. And because I bank with Bank of America, my phone number is connected to my account as well. And so they flagged that for some reason. And that was the issue with direct deposit, because we tried to set up direct deposit with his work as well. And they kept claiming that, they couldn't do it because of the phone number. So then we had the phone number and it changed. In the most, recent month or so, probably the last, 2 to 3 weeks, he's due for another check soon. But his most recent paycheck was deposited in that bank in person. And the teller who was taking the checks was arrested, as well as the bank manager of the branch that he's been going to recently. I know that it's incredibly naive of us to keep depositing the checks, and if I could go back and do it differently, I absolutely would. Also, I used the word cash and deposit as, the same. I didn't quite realize that, cashing a check and depositing a check are two different things, so that's my bad. I didn't use the right verbiage, so I'm sorry about that. Sorry, this video is getting really long. Yes, we have already filed a police report. Basically, this is what happened. So the bank manager, who we had been speaking to for a while, she kept saying, oh yeah, we'll get the check to you now, we'll get the check to you tomorrow, over and over again, and she never gave it to us. And we were going to close his account overall, because we're we don't want Bank of America anymore. We're going to open an account for him at another bank once this is all finished. It's just a complete and utter mess right now. After being run around by that bank manager, my boyfriend called and reported fraud. He reported it to the district manager. We have since found out that we need to report it to the fraud department specifically, which we will be doing today. We have a phone call scheduled at 12 p.m. with my dad on the phone too. Because clearly they're taking advantage of us because we're young and we don't know any better. So the district manager came down from Athens and he was driving back and forth over and over again. He went directly to the bank where he deposited the checks at and got the footage of him depositing the actual checks. That, along with the pay stubs, because my boyfriend's employer was providing pay stubs showing, hey, this is what you were supposed to be paid. It's been taken out of the employer's account, but never touched my boyfriend's account. So the money has been withdrawn. So it's not just they can't just reissue the checks because the money has already been taken out of the company's accounts. So the district manager, once he had all of the information, he went to the police and he told the police what happened and had the original manager and the teller both arrested. Then the district manager promised us an extra $7,000, which is why the $11,000 is different from the $18,000. The $11,000 is what he was originally supposed to get, but because of all the commotion and everything, we've been promised $18,000. The district manager has said multiple times that, oh, we'll get you the money today, we'll get you the money tomorrow, over and over again. He changes the time every day, makes excuse after excuse after excuse. And then finally on Monday, he literally ghosted us. Stopped answering all calls, text messages, would not show up to the bank. And so I spoke to my therapist about it, and she got incredibly angry on our behalf, and she said that what he's doing isn't right. And I know that, again, I know we sound naive as fuck. So yesterday my boyfriend went into the police station and filed another report with the police. He spoke to a detective and explained everything that's going on because now we think that the district manager is in on it. or that the district manager took the money that we were supposed to receive and just ran off with it. I hope this answers some questions. Please feel free to leave more questions. But I also just want to say, if you don't believe me, that's okay. It doesn't make what's happening to us any less real. And if I was lying, I would be risking going to jail. I will provide as many receipts and proof, as much proof as possible today. Just give me a little bit of time. And I will record the phone conversation that we have today, as well as any other conversations we have with anyone at the bank going forward. And because Georgia is a one-party consent state, I will post those as well. And we will be reaching out to a lawyer today. So I hope that answers a couple of questions. I know it's confusing. Trust me, I'm confused too.
Well, yeah, and I just wanted to say one thing before I go into it, is that I know we can't trust the financial institutions we bank with complete trust anymore. We used to be able to. That used to be a thing. And I know it's not now, but I hate it when people berate other people for being naive. And it's like, you know what? We're all naive at some point. That's the thing. It's like, it's not your fault. It happens to us all. We are there. All of us are there at some point. That's why it's good to get someone who might know better, to help you with it. That's always a good thing. But the thing is, you should be able to trust your bank. I mean, I do trust Aspiration. I've never had a problem with them. I've never heard of anyone having a problem with them. I've never read anything about a problem with them. I know they're one of the backers of the Young Turks, which the Young Turks is a progressive online media source, and they are very, very strict with who they partner with. They do not take just any company's money. They barely have any sponsors because they will not partner with people that are unethical, and they deeply vet people and companies, and they deeply vetted this company. So Aspiration, the one I bank with. But anyway, outside of that though, I mean, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, all of those banks are crummy banks. I mean, I have a credit union as well, and that's a crummy bank as well. If you're with Northwest Plus Credit Union, not a great bank. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, real quick, I just have to say this. If you want to say that I'm lying, if you don't believe me, that is perfectly fine. It doesn't affect the validity of my story. It doesn't affect the reality of what's happening. But what we're not going to do is accuse my boyfriend of lying to me. Why do I say this? I was in a really bad relationship before I met him, and he's the reason I got out of it. He legitimately saved my life. This entire pregnancy has been nothing but supportive. He's been the only one working. He has not pressured me once to get a job because of how sick I've been. And when I say he waits on me hand and foot, I mean hand and foot. He's been at every single appointment. He's genuinely my best friend, and I won't have anybody saying anything bad about him. Trust me when I say I know this sounds fishy. Trust me. It does. It does sound fishy. But I have since gotten comments that Bank of America has done this to multiple people. It's not just me. It's not just us. He makes my every meal, brings me breakfast in bed, and takes care of all of the animals. He is the one man I would choose over the bear any day.
I have a husband like that as well. My husband, when I am sick or not feeling well, or I'm recovering from something, I've had a couple operations since we've been married as well, and he takes care of me because that's what good partners do. And it's really sad because there's so many partners out there that are horrid to their partners. And so when they hear of someone being treated well, they're like, you're lying. It's your boyfriend. He's the one stealing the money, blah, blah, blah. I believe her still. I still believe her because why not? I have no reason not to believe her. I hope she comes back with more receipts. That would be great. But the fact that she's like, people have asked her to open a GoFundMe account and she's like, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I am not here to ask for money. She just wants the story out. She just wants people to see the story so it can get more coverage, so she can get her fucking money. They can get their fucking money and go on their merry fucking way before she has this goddamn baby. And in those comments, so many people like, you don't have to do this, but I'm glad she did this, and I'm glad she did this the way she did it. She was like, if you don't believe me, that's cool. I'm not sure I'd believe me either. And, she's still not asking for money. She's still not, I think people are still asking her to open a GoFundMe account. So I give her mad props still.
This is our Georgia power bill, and people have sent enough to pay the $189 so that we don't get disconnected. So that's really awesome. I really appreciate you guys.
So they owe like $440 some odd dollars, and so they're pretty far behind. But I'm glad that, you know, she's been getting some money. She does have a Cash App in her TikTok account. So I obviously this whole time you'll have seen her name. So feel free to follow her, send her money if you would like. You know, it's a crappy time in her life, and I just wish the bank would have made it right for her. You know, it sucks that these multi-million dollar corporations, actually I think they're a multi-billion dollar corporation, decides that the little guy or the little woman or the little person in this scenario doesn't need to be made whole. They don't need their income. And rich Bank of America, doesn't matter to them. They can still eat steak and potatoes.
Okay, a small set of updates. So we're gonna go into the police station today around 7 or 8 p.m. Sorry for the noise. This is what's happening. So we're gonna go in and collect as much evidence as possible to bring not only to the bank directly and to a lawyer, but also to show you guys, because you deserve to know that this is true. I would question it if I were you. I'm not upset with people for questioning the legitimacy of the situation. I also just spoke to a lawyer. His name is Richard Rice Jr. And he said that I should contact the Georgia Bar Association in order to find a lawyer who can maybe do this, where they basically earn some of the fees through... I'm sorry, brain fog is really getting me today. I woke up at 5 a.m. and took like a 3-hour nap, so I'm a little confused. Basically, where they either split some of the settlement or Bank of America can pay the fees for the lawyer after we win. The reason why I can't get the attorney Rice Jr. is because he charges a minimum of $7,500, so that's just not possible. I'd consider setting up a GoFundMe, but I'm really hesitant to ask for any money for this, just because I don't feel great about, I don't know, asking the internet for money, especially with so many people struggling right now. But anyway, I contacted the Georgia Bar Association, and I'm gonna look into, they told me to look into, let me look at it, consumer law, and find somebody who works specifically in banking. So I'm looking at that right now. We're gonna call at 4 p.m. I'm gonna call the bank specifically and talk to the fraud division. I also want to clear up, my dad, he worked at the university that I went to as a professor, but he also is basically like a journalist. He's worked in the political scene for many years and has written for the New York Times, Washington Post, places like that. So just to clear it up, because somebody was like, I thought he worked in TV, and I was like, he works in both media and as a professor. He retired though as a professor. He still does stuff. If you want to hear more about it, it's basically, he uses psychology to talk about politics. But anyway, that's why we wanted to have him on the phone, because he does hold some, like, he does carry some weight with that. And this is definitely not his normal, like, typical story that he would write about at all. But they don't really need to know that, and I mean, I guess he could probably write about this if he wanted to. Especially because Georgia is a state that has really strict, laws about women's reproductive rights. And sadly, they really don't provide for pregnant people in general. I have also applied for WIC and food stamps. I just got approved for food stamps. I think it was yesterday or the day before. The days kind of blend together when you're pregnant. I tried to apply for TANF, but they basically said that I would have to go 9 to 5 to this program that's supposed to help you get a job, and I tried to explain that I'm pregnant and throwing up all day, so I really can't do that. I've considered applying for disability, but first of all, it takes a really long time to get approved. I have a doctor who would absolutely be able to write all this stuff for me, But she said that it's possible that I might have to give up my insurance. And basically, I have really good health insurance. I'm very, very lucky. Because I'm under 26, I'm still covered under my parents' plan. And my stepdad works at Emory, so we have Aetna insurance through them, and it's basically the best insurance I can have. And as somebody who's chronically ill, if I were to give up that insurance and get Medicaid or Medicare, I can't remember which one is for the old people and which one is for people who can't afford as much. But basically, it wouldn't cover as much as Aetna covers, and I wouldn't be able to do some of the procedures and some of the treatments that I do. Because Aetna covers things like acupuncture for me and some chiropractic care, and I'm just not sure if Medicare or Medicaid, whichever one it is, covers the same things, and it would be a really big mess to transfer me off of my insurance. I was also looking into getting gastric sleeve surgery prior to being pregnant, obviously. Not just for like weight-related reasons, but because I did genetic testing and I'm at risk for multiple illnesses that can essentially be worsened if you are bigger. And I'm not sure if the Medicare or Medicaid would cover that, whereas Aetna would cover it with just like a small copay, essentially. And so it's things like that that I could be giving up. I'm sorry, this video is long again, but I will post any evidence that I can. Our gas bill is covered, and we have just paid the minimum balance on our Georgia Power bill as well. So thank you to everybody. You really don't need to send anything. I know that this sounds fishy, and trust me, I wouldn't believe me if I were you. So that's part of the reason that I'm trying to provide receipts and everything. But to everyone who sent something, thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. Please don't feel pressured to send anything at all. I know that so many people are struggling right now. The cost of living has gone up like crazy, and we just haven't gone up with it. My boyfriend has a second job now, so he'll be able to provide more for the baby as well. And that's all I can think of at the moment. Again, I appreciate all of the support, and I'm not upset about the comments questioning the validity of it. It's perfectly fine.
What more can she really say, honestly? But I feel bad for them. I really do. I mean, yeah, I would fucking hate to be in that position right now, in this day and age, renting and having to pay for food. Even though she lives in Georgia, I'm sure that it's not cheap there. It's really not cheap most places in the middle of America anymore. So people that live in places that used to be cheaper, and now that a lot of people are working from home, those landlords raise the rents, and everyone around them raise, food costs and stuff like that. So, I mean, Georgia does not pay well. It does not pay well. Let me tell you, it's one of the states that does not pay people well, and it just drives me insane. But she's right. The wages have been stagnant for 5 decades or more. So cost of everything keeps going up, but what you make never goes up. So honestly, everything's way more expensive for some people. It's more expensive for us, but we make decent money. So we can afford all our bills. We're trying to pay off our credit cards, get out of debt. We can afford that, But a lot of people, especially people that are on the lower end of the economic spectrum, they're having a really hard time. They're having a really rough time.
Okay, this is the last troll comment I'm going to respond to, but I just think it's really funny because I know you think you're catching me in a lie or something. Here we go. The other day, my boyfriend went to Publix because he just got a job at Publix, and he found these 2 gift cards in the parking lot. One of them has $40, the other one has $50 on it, and I was looking online, Kohl's, because it has $40 on there, at some baby items, a towel for postpartum, a maternity shirt, and some Burt's Bees dusting powder. And the reason I haven't bought it yet, because I would need an extra $11 to do it. So no, I'm not using the money that people have sent me to do that. Let's go to Belk. Yeah, Belk. Again, I would need an extra $2.20 because I got a $50 gift card to this. So no, I have not bought anything from these websites. And the last one, I came across a TikTok for this website. It's called Rebel Stork, and they sell open box products and products that are overstock. So yes, I was looking at that, and you can see I have items in my cart. I'm clearly not checking out anything, but you know, I think I'm allowed to window shop. So yes, you caught me window shopping and looking at websites I have gift cards to. Congratulations. And if you're wondering, the rest of the tabs, this is Georgia Gateway because I applied for WIC and for TANF and food stamps. Also, here's one of my cats. She knows I'm stressed out, which is why she came over. Next one is Georgia Power. Georgia Power. This is my account for my washer and dryer that we rent. Lawyers. More lawyers. Even more lawyers. Attorneys. Lawyers. 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 And here we go, the beginning. Pregnancy resource centers near me. Again, the Belk, because I have 40 calls. Hulu, because I like Grey's Anatomy. And again, back at Rebel Stork and Georgia Gateway. So yes, you caught me shopping for places I have gift cards to and looking at a cheaper baby website. Also, in reference to people saying I'm deleting comments, I have not deleted a single comment. TikTok filters them out. They're like some anti-bullying software or something. So basically, if you put a cuss word in your comment, or if it thinks that you're bullying me, it does that. And I've been going through as fast as I can and improving every single comment. I have not deleted a single comment, but I'm not addressing the trolls anymore because this is getting ridiculous. Okay, this is the...
Yeah, like they say, don't feed the trolls. Although, sometimes I think it's worth feeding the troll. Depends if I have the time and the energy. But anyway, so yeah, I love that she did this. And she's like, well, I'm window shopping. Yeah. And it's none of this lady's fucking business what this lady's fucking doing. Like, what you think you're calling her out? Like I said, I hate people. The internet makes me hate people.
Here are the updates I have for you so far. I wish I could provide more information, but I just can't at this point. This is everything I know. The company that my boyfriend works for has filed fraud. The police spoke with the company and they looked at the numbers for the accounts that the money was deposited into, and it absolutely does not match the account number of my boyfriend. So, absolutely a fraud situation. The company is hoping to get that money back within the next 2 to 3 weeks, at which point they will be able to reissue the checks to my boyfriend and we will hopefully have the money in hand. We will obviously not be cashing those checks at Bank of America. We're looking into joining a credit union instead, like so many of you have suggested. It's been really helpful. Today I managed to get in contact with somebody from Bank of America through TikTok, and they sent in a request to have somebody contact my boyfriend regarding this situation and see if we can get something resolved. Here's the confirmation of the submission. You know what I'm trying to say. The police have promised to send us the police reports multiple times. They've said that they would email it to us. I don't know if the person that we're talking to just doesn't know what he's doing or if he's just been really busy, but he has not sent it to us. And honestly, if tomorrow by 5 p.m. he does not send us any information and we do not have any of this information on hand, then I will release his name because this is not being handled correctly. Along with the detective's name, I will also release the name of the district manager of Bank of America who promised us money and then ghosted us if we do not have the report in hand. I'm really frustrated by the lack of communication from all parties involved. And if you don't believe me, that's fine, but please stop harassing me. I had somebody go on my private Facebook account and start messaging like my friends and family who had posted on my announcement for my pregnancy, like asking them to send me money and things like that. Again, the point of this was not to ask for money. I have not in any of my posts asked for money. I set up an Amazon wish list solely for my cat and dog's food and litter. just because people had asked me. And people have asked me to set up a GoFundMe, but I do not feel comfortable setting it up until I have the proof in hand of what's going on. Once I have the police report in hand and I'm able to share more information, I will be setting up a GoFundMe for the lawyer fees. Because I would really like to go with the law firm that I spoke to, because they seemed pretty knowledgeable on the situation. Again, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I'm risking a lot by putting my name, face, and all of this information out there, because if this were not true, Bank of America could very easily sue me for defamation. But they can't, because quite frankly, this story is true. I'm considering turning comments off in this video, just because the hate has been getting to me, honestly. And I've been really sick over it, and just in general from the HG. I'm tired of feeling like I have to defend myself when the people who should be defending themselves are Bank of America. Again, I wish that I could share more information with you. I wish I had more information personally. But again, this is not my account. And there's just been a general lack of communication between all parties involved that has made it incredibly hard to get any information from anyone. There have been a lot of things said about me, from I shouldn't have gotten pregnant, to basically I'm not capable of caring for a child because I'm chronically ill, to I got into the college that I did because of family ties, to my boyfriend has a gambling addiction, or it blew the money on strippers and blow. Which is kind of funny because we have each other's locations and we're together all the time. Literally, aside from when he's at work or going to get me something, we're together. From the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep. But you will hear from me, no matter what, tomorrow by 5 p.m. because if we do not get the information that we need, I will be releasing names. Because people can't get away with this, not any longer. I'm 21 weeks pregnant today and I am over it.
Okay, so that was 5 days ago. People are fucked up. They really are. The hookers and blow, that's my favorite part of it, because that's just my favorite part.
We finally got the detective's phone number. We've been calling all day, and he's answered a couple times and told us to call back at later times. We've done that, and then he either just didn't answer or told us to call back later. I get that they're busy, but this is frustrating. Tomorrow, we're supposed to have a call with Bank of America, like early ass in the morning. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'm gonna record the conversation as well. And tomorrow, if the detective doesn't answer, we're gonna just go to the police station. And if nobody shows up at the police station, we're gonna go to a different police station and basically tell on the police station and say, hey, what's going on, because we can't access the building. That's all the updates I have for you right now. Oh, last thing, my boyfriend's company is gonna reissue the pay stubs to him because the detective took the originals, which my therapist was like, don't let them ever take originals. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, because now the detective isn't answering our phone calls in a timely manner, which is really fucking frustrating.
And I'm just gonna put this out there, it's not impossible that someone at the police station isn't working with somebody at Bank of America to keep this hush-hush. So that could also be it. And if that's it, if that's going on, this shit's gonna explode into a giant story. So I'm just curious when's this gonna end and how is this gonna end up, and I hope she gets her money, because that's awful. Okay, next one.
Y'all, we made it to the news. So this person posted this comment, and I went looking. I can't believe it, this is amazing. I'm sorry I don't have any more updates for you today. I was in the hospital because puke gang. I haven't been able to hold down, like, even fluids, really. So I went in just to get some hydration. I'm feeling a bit better now, though. I still threw up most of what I ate today, but we're doing a little bit better. But I'm so happy. I'm hoping if this gets enough coverage, we'll be able to get it fixed.
Exactly, that's all she's wanting. She wants it to get coverage. She's telling people, you don't need to send me money. It's okay. You know, I do have a Cash App there. If you want to, great, but no. I'm not asking you to. I think she's been very upfront, and I know people get so cynical these days. They're like, no, you know full well what you're doing. And I'm like, that person needs therapy. They do. I know we don't have access to therapy, but that person needs therapy. And that's the last one. That was 5 days ago. So we have no more updates after that. So I'm following her. She is Mackenzie, Mackenzie. And I will also put her Cash App up here as well. If you'd like to send her money, just blindly, that's cool. And she also has a link to her Amazon wish list that is for her cats. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you know of anyone that's been defrauded? If so, if you know names of people that have been arrested in relation to things like this, also put that in the comments. I would love to look it up and look into that further. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe.